Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yandi.
Hello.
Yandi.
Hello.
Yandi.
Hello.
కనెక్ట్ అవ్వట్లేదు అదే వినిపించట్లేదు అన్నమాట.
ఇంకా మరి ఆన్ చేసుకోలేదు.
ఏది ఆ మాట ఆయనకి
Hello.
యా ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తుంది. హలో.
Yeah. Hi, Harita. Good evening.
యా హాయ్ 1 minute.
Sure.
పెంచాలంటే
బై.
స్క్రీన్ రికార్డ్ చేసుకో.
ఓకే. హలో హాయ్ శ్రీనివాస్.
Yeah. Hi, Harita. Good evening.
Good evening. So for recording, I need to use Altar, right?
Altar. Just press Altar. I'll just look into it. Yeah, your recording started now.
Okay, thank you.
So these are the topics which are discussed during our last class.
Okay.
So do you have doubt on any of the topic?
Yeah.
Do you have doubt on any of the topic? You said
No,
yes.
no.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So these are the topics which are like continuing from yesterday's one. So to public class, and I'll add few more.
Hello.
Yeah, it appears that you got disconnected.
Yeah, I think some problem is there in my internet. That's why.
Okay. Now it's fine, right?
Okay. Yeah, now it's right. I don't know what happened today. It's getting disconnected frequently. That's the reason.
Okay. So if you are okay, then we'll continue. If you feel that it's like
No.
much problem, then we can take it off for today. Look, depends on your convenience.
Oh, that's okay. I think I'm fine, but we will see if it is connecting frequently. We will close the class.
Sure. Like this one.
If it happens frequently.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, like it doesn't make sense. Like with that kind of approach.
Yeah.
Okay. So yesterday, like we just did in a Hello program, right?
Yes. Yeah.
We just seen the compile time and compile, and we could see the result. Just to the extension of that, like so this is my question on top of it. Like, can we have a Java source file other than the class name? Means yesterday we have saved the file name as hello.java, right?
Yes, yes.
Let me go to the folder. So now my question is, this is hello.java, class name is hello. Both are same.
Yes. Yes.
My question, what I am trying to ask is, can we have a Java source file other than the class name? Means, what I'm asking, can I have both are different? So what do you say? Like, any guess?
I didn't understand your question.
Okay.
Come again.
Can we have a Java source file other than the class name? Means in the previous example, source
Okay.
file, physically it was saved to hello.java and class name is also hello, right?
Yeah, same. It should.
So like the question is like, can we have both different? What happens if we have different? So that's what, because in interview you might see this kind of a question. That's where like I just added as a discussion point.
Okay. We need to have the same name, the class name itself. I mean, we saved it as hello.java, right?
Yes.
So we need to have the same name.
So does that mean if I give something else, is it going to give us any issue?
Maybe it may give, I think.
It will work here.
Oh, it works.
So there is an exception that I'm going to come back it later.
Okay.
Right now, in this example, compiling hello.java, it should give me the successfulness.
Okay.
It's already coming. You could see that hide class is created. Right?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Now if you run it, obviously should be able to see the result of
Welcome to Java program. Yeah.
Answer to this question is yes. For now, I'll come back to it later. I'll prove it to it later. The next question, can we have more than one class in the same Java file? That means yesterday I've seen that there is a class, there is a like this. Can I have multiple classes inside the same physical file? Another question.
No.
No?
Within the class within a class, right?
No, that is different concept. Having classes, multiple classes, suppose this is a class.
Yeah, we can have multiple classes in Java, right? Yeah, we can have like this.
Okay, you're already aware of this?
Yeah, I know that.
Answer is yes. Yes, we can have.
I know that in a class we can have any number of methods, and we can define any number of classes in a Java program.
Okay. Exactly.
But not class within a class, according to my
class within a class is also possible. That we are going to discuss at later.
Oh, that's what I'm not that much aware.
Yeah, that's also possible.
Yeah, I know only that.
Sure. This is one class, right? That's what. Now I'm going to add some more classes to it. Physically, all those were saved as a test.java. But I have A, B, C, D, and test 5 different classes.
Yeah, 5 different classes.
When I compile, I should be able to compile and I should be able to see the result, obviously. When I see there, I could see that A, B, C, D, these are the classes which are created just now.
Okay, yes.
So as many number of classes are there in my Java program, that many number of classes were generated in the background as and when we compile it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Class file generated.
Yes. When it try to execute, you should be able to see something there. What is test? So I just printed as a test message, right?
Yes.
That means you're able to run the program. So answer to these two questions are like yes, right?
Yeah. Can we have more than one class in same Java file? Yeah, that's what I told, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
No, no, just I'm a little bit confused. That's why I'm asking. I told right.
You told the answer as correctly.
Yeah, okay.
And to the first program.
Okay.
First program means the hello, and I just added something here. Okay. So I would like to make this as a public. You know, right? Public means yesterday we discussed as the global visibility.
Okay.
Right. Yesterday we discussed it in the public static void main method.
Yeah.
Public means so same public I'm using in front of class. I would like to make this class as a public. Now when I try to compile here, if I try to compile now, it's going to fail. Earlier it was compiling, right?
Yes.
Even when we add a public, it was failing. We just said that grant me the public access. And after that, when we try to compile, it's failing. The reason is, if you look at it, class hi is a public and should be declared in a file name hi.java. What
Okay.
clearly saying is, if you want me to have a public significance, make sure you save me as with that name.
Oh, earlier you saved it as just class hi, right?
Yes, class hi.
Okay, you didn't specify public. Yes,
Public.
yes.
If you're not
That's
saving
why it
public,
ran successfully.
exactly. If you're not specifying a public, so there were no restrictions on the naming conventions and all those things. If you just make it as a public, so it's a global visibility. When you are trying to make it as a global visibility in the public to all, so then it starts imposing a rule that should have the name, class name should match the file name. Then only I'll allow you to compile. That's what is clearly saying that.
Okay.
So here,
Depending on that.
yes,
Okay.
the file name is hollow, the class name is I. So it will not allow you to compile if you are trying to proceed with the public. So if you want to proceed with this, definitely either you have to save it as hi.java or have to save it hello. Ideally, both class name and the physical file name should be same. Then only public is going to accept. So this is easy for me to modify. So just modify. So either way is possible.
Okay.
Try to compile. This time it compiles successfully.
Okay.
I got that right.
Okay.
We are done with hello program. And go to the test program.
So answer to that first question is, it is possible.
Yes, I will come back to. So once we cover with this second one, we'll come back.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'm adding public to the. Still we are in the process. Like both are like interrelated. That's why like I'm discussing together.
Okay. Okay.
Now same thing. I'm trying to add the same public keyword to all another program, test program, which is having 5 different classes, right? So when we compile it, so do you think it's going to work? Definitely it's going to give us an error because the file names and the class names are not in matching, right?
Yes, we gave just hello.java, right? Yeah.
Test.java. So here in this class we have 5 classes, right?
Yes.
So ABC. So you will get a 4 errors. 4 errors because it has a constants with A, B, C, and D. Good thing is that there is no constants with test because this class name and the file name is matching. So there is no constants with this one. But the problem with these 4 guys.
Okay. Okay.
So ideally, if you want to save, make the classes public, you have to save it under the class name as that one. So I have 5 classes. So obviously, I can save only with one name, right?
Okay.
I cannot save with the error. If I save with the error.java, then I'll end up with errors for these 4.
Yes.
So it cannot. So at any point of time in a physical Java file, only one class can be a public.
Oh. Okay.
Otherwise, you cannot make multiple things, multiple classes. If you try to save, it will not allow you to compile at all because it's a name. You can give only one unit name out of this file, right?
Yes. Yes.
So obviously, either you have to move this to into a separate file and save it as A.java, B.java, C.java, D.java in 4 different files, or you can just remove these things.
Oh, okay.
If you are strongly willing to go for public, then save them in the separate files. If you are okay with without public, then remove the public message. Then this program is going to compile now.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if we go back to that questions, so answer to these 2 questions were now. Earlier it was yes, but once you make it as a public, your answer is no, right?
Yes.
So it all depends on the public keyword where it's says if you use it, definitely it's going to impose some kind of a rules. Based on that rules, you have to either save it in a different file name if you still contain the public, or else remove the public keyword.
I mean, if we specify the class with access modifier public, so surely we should give it same name as file name.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
If you're not specifying, it's your choice. Like you do whatever you want. It's not going to
Okay. Okay.
Ideally, in real time, we always go with the public, but
Okay.
there are some cases we might not go with the public. So in that case, these are the exceptions.
Okay.
Okay. So now this is the definition here. Difference between public and default class. If you are giving a public keyword, that's what we have seen here. If you are not giving any public, so it is called as a default.
Okay.
Okay. Default access it is.
Okay. Okay.
That's where like it is not restricting anything as such.
Okay.
If you are making it as a public, then it is start giving a restriction to all those things.
Okay.
Clear?
Cool.
Now we'll move to Eclipse now. Then we'll discuss the remaining topics. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Eclipse, is it already installed in your machine?
Yeah, it's already installed.
Already installed it. So then straight away I'll open it. Because you're already aware of.
Yeah.
First time when we open an Eclipse or any kind of editor, it'll ask you for the location of. Just need to mention the location where you would like to map it. Now you have seen the difference, right? In the comment part, we have already seen like how to compile and run the program. Now we'll move to the Eclipse where we can see a lot of features.
Okay.
When you are opening an Eclipse for the first time, it's a blank, right? So you need to create a project. So you just need to create file new project. Select the Java project. And next, after that you can give any name. I'm just giving us hello project. Name doesn't matter, so just tell it project name.
Okay.
So rest everything you can leave it as it is. Click on next. It's just asking to switch the window appearance, so I'll just leave it as it is. So this is how the structure looks like. The SS is the folder where you are going to write all your Java files. And this is a library which is mapped, means 1.8 version, whatever the Java you are using, all the supporting jar files related to it. So in this folder, we are going to write all the Java code on day-to-day basis.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when you are working with it's because it's a single folder, right? So we need to create some kind of a package structure to have the file separate. So package structure is like kind of like it's another folder you can have. So I'm just creating one folder with the list. So I'll show you in the background how it is created. Hello project, right? If you go to your folder, hello. This is created just now. If you look at the timestamp.
Okay.
Com examples day 01, right? In the single statement, I just created a package. That means nesting of the folders, I can create it a single shot.
Okay.
So you have observed, right? You are in SRC. I just right clicked on it and I created something, right?
Oh yeah, you created the package.
Package. So in the same, we want to create something else for day 02. If I create something else, so com examples were already available. So day 02 is a new folder, right? And if you finish, it's going to create a day 0 folder. Com examples day 02, right? So depends on the package that you're creating. Package is nothing but a folder in the logical physical terms. Okay. We are going to discuss package about in detail at later stage. Right now, this we are starting using with an Eclipse. Right? I just showed you how to use the package folder structure. Each and every package that we create here in the background, it's a folder, nothing else. Okay, so I'll just move the files and whatever we have learned so far. Here, the red symbol indicates that it's an error.
Okay.
Okay, so because this file is coded in the notepad, right? There we have not mentioned in which folder it is mapped to. Means we have not mentioned any package name. So now you move to Eclipse. So for each and every file that you mentioned in the Eclipse, so it's always advisable to go with the package name. Means on which folder it belongs to.
Oh, okay.
Do not get confused. Nothing. It's a simple one. So this is the code we created, right?
Yeah, this is the code we created.
Created earlier. I just coded directly in the particular folder. But
Okay.
in every Java file, whenever you are writing something, you need to mention that for which package the Java file belongs to. Means for which folder the Java file belongs to.
Okay.
That need to mention.
Okay. Okay.
So here we are in the package called package com.day01. Just a package name you need to mention. This is
Okay.
you are coming to Eclipse. That's why like I'm just giving that information.
Okay.
Next time around, when you try to create a new Java file, automatically these things will be added automatically. Depends on the folder that you create.
Okay.
Okay. The next one the same way. I'll try to move the second example. Test right. Test I move to second. Same way you get the error because test doesn't have any information about which package is. Means each and every Java file that you're writing, it's always advisable to map it. If you're not giving mapping, it's going to be like default package.
Okay.
Now we just moved both the things. I'm just deleting. So, clear? I'll open both the programs now. Eclipse. If you want to, this is a program, right? In Eclipse, if you want to compile and run the program, how do you do that? You do not need to manipulate everything. Java, and Java, and all this. Right click on the program. There is a run as option. Java application. You click on this, it's going to start executing it. You got the result here, right?
Yeah.
So when you are working with the command prompt, so first you need to compile, and after that you will see the window. So, but in Eclipse, left side you are having all the files. In the top you are having the appropriate file. In the bottom you can see the console. That means you can see all at work in a single frame, right?
Okay.
So we change something. I should be right click, run as application. That means I got the output, right? The single frame, single screen, I'm able to see everything. It's advantage, right? Rather than switching to notepad and compiling and once again checking if there is any issues and going back here and there. It's easy for us to, for a developer to proceed with the development. Agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Now we'll continue with that. We just seen that right click, run as compile. Java application. It's going to compile automatically. Suppose if there is any issues, how do you know that? Suppose I made something wrong. Immediately it's giving error here.
Yeah.
You do not need to attempt for the compilation because Eclipse itself is trying to compile and it's giving the error. See that?
Okay.
Error symbol indicates that there is something wrong. If you place a mouse pointer there, it gives you clearly information that what the mistake you made. It cannot understand so the XYZ characters whatever we typed, right?
Yeah.
So it's giving error. So it's development wise, it's easy. Clear?
Okay.
Now we'll go with the regular discussion and once again we'll come back with examples here. Unicode. Do you know what exactly the Unicode in general?
No.
Okay. Have you ever heard the term? Maybe in any of the programming language?
I did not remember anything. I completed my master's in 2007.
Okay, it's a long time, right?
Mhm.
So basically, Unicode is a universal international standard character encoding system, which is capable of representing most of the world's written languages. Means it is just a representing system which is covering most of the world's written languages. That's all.
Okay.
So before the Unicode was invented, there were many codes were available. You might have heard this word. These are the some of the coding systems. ASCII,
Yeah,
American
ASCII.
Standard Code for Information Interchange.
Yeah.
This was the standard which was developed for United States.
Okay.
ISO, and this is the standard code which is developed especially for European languages. KOI is for Russian people and GB is for Chinese people. So like that, I just listed only from 3 to 4 just to give an example. Like that, each and every country, majority of the country, they came up with their own representing systems.
Okay.
Means each and every country have their own way of writing and they have their own representing symbols, right? If you look
Oh,
at
yeah.
Chinese, they'll have different fonts. Obviously, it
Yeah.
has to represent something. So when they when they do some programming, right? But whatever the character they do, they should represent. So for that, each and every country they came up with their own representation systems. For example, if you refer to A in US is might be like ASCII code, right? They might have
Yeah.
represented with 10, for example. The same character A in Chinese they might have represented with 20 because it's in their control. They have designed accordingly. You got it?
Okay. Okay.
So each and every character, so each and every like country they have came up with their own representing systems. Like this is how I would like to represent. With respect to their country perspective, everything was fine because whatever they have represented with respect to their country and everything was working fine. But when you start exchanging the data, let's say you are in US and you developed something and you are sharing to Chinese people, some other country. So there your program may not work as expected because as per your coding, character A is represented with ASCII code 10. But in Chinese representation system, character A might be 20, right?
Yeah.
So that means it's altogether a different thing, and there are some things which is not going to work at all because when you start exchanging the information, that's where they have identified the common system, the Unicode system, which is capable of covering all the written languages. Like no matter like whether you like staying in a US or any other country, so still the data exchange over the countries is going to be the same. So
Okay.
Java is supporting Unicode system. Being a developer, we do not need to write any additional code. It's just information to the developer that Java is based on Unicode system. So whatever you do as a program, it is capable of supporting all the world's written languages.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
before the Unicode was there, that was the problem. So after the Unicode, that problem was no more into picture because it got addressed because of the Unicode system identifying. Clear now?
Yeah, clear.
So just information to the developer that, and the developer do not need to write any code to achieve this. It's already Java software itself is built on top of it.
Okay, inbuilt.
Yes, inbuilt it's.
Okay.
And the next one is the bytecode. Most commonly you might see this word in Java terminology.
Yeah.
So whenever you compile any program in Java, you might have seen the class file, right? So yesterday we are seeing something.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
The class file itself is called as a bytecode. What exactly the class file contains? It contains a bytecode. A bytecode is a language to which Java source is compiled and Java virtual machine can understand. Unlike the compiled language, if you need to correlate with the feature that we have discussed yesterday, platform independent, that we have discussed yesterday, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So unlike the compiled languages that have to be specifically compiled for each different type of computers, Java program is only need to be converted to a bytecode once. After that, it can run on any platform for which Java virtual machine exists. As we discussed yesterday, If it is C or C++, it was compiling specific to that particular operating system.
Yeah.
Where the problem is, if it was compiled only for particular operating system, obviously it is capable of running only in that particular operating system. It can run the other thing. But the Java is, the bytecode is not specific to any operating system.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not specific to any kind of operating system. This is just a semi-compiled language, so which can be compatible for all the operating systems.
Yeah. Bytecode is nothing but dot class file, right?
Yes, exactly. Whatever you see in the dot class file, it's called a bytecode.
So Java is platform independent. It can be run on any operating system.
Any operating system, provided that operating system should have the JVM exist. Java software should exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is obviously minimum requirement.
Yeah.
So bytecode is a compiled format of your Java program. Once the Java program has been converted to bytecode, it can be transferred across the network and executed by any JVM. And
Okay.
bytecode files are having the extension dot class. Dot class. Clear?
Okay.
And JDK and JRE and JVM. These are the three most times you might see like when you are working with Java. Right?
Yeah.
JDK, JRE and JVM. You might have already heard this word.
I heard.
Okay.
A runtime or something.
Exactly.
Development. Yeah. Not sure.
So we'll start with the other one. So like by the when I say JVM, JVM is called Java Virtual Machine by the definition. It's an abstract machine and specification that provides a runtime environment in which your Java bytecode can be executed. That means JVM is providing a place where your actual Java bytecode means the actual Java programs are getting executed.
Okay.
So JVMs are available for many hardwares and softwares.
Okay.
JDK, JRE, and JVM are platform dependent.
Okay.
So Java is platform independent, the program that you code. But the software that you are using is a platform dependent. There is a confusion. Most of the people used to confuse here, but it's nothing complex. The software in which you are working. So you might have installed a Java software, right? When you install a software, you might have said that I would like to go for a software which is specific to compatible for so and so type and so and so thing, right? Which is specific to your operating system. That means the software that you have downloaded is platform dependent, but the programs that you code is platform independent. Clear?
Oh, I mean, this JDK, JRE, all these are platform dependent.
Dependent, exactly.
And the program which I'm going to develop in this, in this Eclipse, it is platform independent.
Yes, exactly. Not only Eclipse, anything which is using the
Okay.
Java inside your
Yeah. Not only Eclipse, anything. Oh, yeah. Okay.
But so that's most of the times when generally people will read Java is independent, right? And obviously these things also they'll confuse with the platform independent, but the softwares are dependent.
Okay.
The outcome that you are getting out of those softwares are the independent.
Okay.
JVM performs some of the tasks are like it's going to load the code and it's going to verify the code and it's going to execute the code and provides a runtime environment. These are the most common functionalities of your JVM.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it is going to compile and execute both the things. It is going to do JVM, right?
It's going to load the code.
Okay.
It's going to verify the code and it's going to execute the code.
I mean, loading and executing means compiling and executing.
Exactly. So if you are looking from the compile and execution perspective, yes, JVM is going to take care of all those things.
Yeah, just same like extra is a command prompt. We gave Java C and something file name. Java file name means compilation and execution.
It's exactly.
But we don't give any kind of Java C or anything here.
Yes.
Just you went and something and you just told just run the file, it went run.
Yes. The Eclipse itself is already having a mapping to JVM.
Okay.
So the next one is called JRE. JRE is nothing but Java Runtime Environment. It will provide the runtime environment and it is an implementation of JVM. So JVM is a virtual thing. It doesn't exist on your physical machine. It's a virtual thing. Physically exists a JRE. Okay. So JRE is an implementation of JVM. It does physical exist and it contains a set of libraries and the other software files. If you look at your installation folder on your local computer, files, this is a standard path which usually is. So this is the JRE I'm talking about. JRE physically exists on your machine, right?
Yeah.
Physically exists on your machine, and it does exist. It contains a set of libraries. It's a lot of things, right? And all the related files which are related to JVM. So JRE is going to physically exist, but you cannot find any folder related to JVM here because JVM is a virtual thing. JRE is implementation of it. So JRE is actually taking care of it internally. Clear?
Oh, okay.
Functionality-wise, JVM is actually it's a specification that provides a runtime environment where your bytecode is executed. How it is executed? It's a JRE which is taking care of like JVM implementation. Okay.
JRE is taking care of JVM implementation. Okay.
Yes, it's implementation of it. Like, and the next one is called Jdk Java Development Kit. Next one, yeah, Java Development Kit. It is also physically exists in your folder, and it's combination of JRE plus development tools. Go to your installation folder. JDK, right? I'm referring to JDK. As I said, JDK is a combination of JRE plus other tools. So that means in my JDK folder, I'm having JRE, right? And other software stuff related to my software, right?
Okay.
So, and then JRE and JDK physically exist on your machine as part of your software. But JVM is a virtual thing which doesn't exist physically.
Okay.
Okay, got it?
Got it.
Now we'll move on to actual technology. What is a variable and its types? So, can you give me some idea about the variable like in generally, not related to Java in general? Why we go for a variable and any specific result, right?
No.
No idea. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I have idea variable, but I can't define
Okay,
that.
just to have a like better interaction, I used to ask questions, but do not treat me wrong. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Just
okay. That's okay.
So based on your comfortness, I can take it further. That's where like my intention is.
Yeah, that's okay. I know the variable, but I can't define it properly. That's the reason. Okay.
So variable is nothing but is a simple memory location for which you are pointing with a name. That's all. In simple terms.
Yeah.
So there is no standard definition for it. So generally,
Yeah.
you have something in memory. How do you access that memory? Definitely you have to give some name, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the name is. That's all. In simple terms, in the generally remember. It's a name of a memory location. So we have three types of variables in Java: local variable, instance variable, static variable.
Okay.
So we have like a variable, and the other set is called constant. Variable means which is going to change the value again and again. It means it doesn't give us any issue even if we change the value. Okay. Constant, you might have heard this constant, right?
Constant.
Yeah. Constant is another special type of a variable which is not allow you to change the value once you give the value. These are constants. Okay, that constant anyway we are going to see down the line. Just for now, variable is a memory location which is having something inside it. So obviously you can talk to that location only through a name. That's where my variable name is. We have three types: local, instance variable, and static variable. These three variables mostly we are working with Java programs. Okay. If you look at the local variable, the name itself we are telling that the local, right? A variable that is declared inside a method or a block is called local variable. If you declare a method inside, if you declare a variable inside a method,
if you declare a variable, inside a method,
it's called a local variable.
Okay, got it.
The reason is, out of that method, if you ask for a variable, you cannot get it because the scope and the visibility of that variable lies only within that method, right?
Okay.
You place something in some room, and that scope of that item is only accessible within that room, right?
Okay.
From other room, you cannot access it.
Yeah.
Same thing, the local variables are these are set of special variables wherein if you wish to access the value only within that method, and if you do not wish to access that variable outside of that method, that's where the local variable. Okay.
Okay.
And the next one, instance. These are also variables that is declared inside your class but outside of your method.
Inside the class but outside the method. Okay.
So local is also inside a class, inside a class, but inside a method which is part of the same class.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
Got it, right? But here
Yeah. Okay.
it's outside of any method. So that means the global area. So when I say global area, so everybody can access this kind of variables.
Okay.
Right? This is known like the instance variable.
Yeah.
And the next one, the static. Static variables are also similar to your instance variable, but the advantage here is they just add a prefix word called static in front of the variable. Once you declare the variable as such, it becomes a static variable.
Oh, once I declare the variable as a static variable, what happens?
The local and instance, you are clear, right?
Yeah, I'm clear with local and instance.
Static variable is also you're going to declare in the same way as that of the instance.
Okay.
In front of your variable declaration, you add the word static.
Okay.
Okay. Then that variable we call it as a static variable, though it is a instance type, but we made it as a static so that that variable will be accessible within that class, and at the same time we made it as a static nature. Means in Java terminology, if you made any variable as a static nature, you can call that variable directly with the class name. If you remember yesterday, public static void main.
Yeah.
So the main method, so if you look at it, how it's internally calling the class name dot the method name, I told you, right?
Yes, class name dot method name.
The same way, if it is a variable also, class name that variable name we can call. That's where the advantage. But these variables you cannot call with the class name dot instance variable. You cannot access.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused.
I'll show with an example.
Yeah, that's better, I think.
So if you want to create any new Java file, so whichever is the package in which you would like to create, right from that package, right click, new class. Okay.
Okay.
So I need to ask you for the name. What is the name you wish to create? So I'll just give any relevant name. This is the class name Outlook create, and here is an option. So if you just check this option, what this is going to give, it's going to create a file with the method name automatically.
Okay.
You can observe it. I do not need to type all these things. Just code it for us. So kind of like structure it has given to us. So we mainly focus on the actual thing. So this is just a to-do thing, like so what you need to write something. It's just information from the Eclipse.
Okay.
You can ignore that statement. Now we are writing something. I'm writing my method. So int is nothing but integer. Okay.
Okay.
So
I knew that.
You know that, right? Okay.
Yeah, I know that.
To explain the variable types, I have to use any of the variable type.
Yeah.
Here, this is a variable name I just declared. This is called a local variable.
Okay.
Within these two blocks, I can use everywhere this I. But after that, if I ask for I, can't even ask for I. If you ask for the value of I, you cannot access.
Okay.
Because life of this I is, because this is declared inside this block, right?
Okay, it's only up to the hello method.
Exactly. So it can be that you cannot expect that variable to be accessible.
Okay.
Next one. That is called instance variable. Okay. And this day is declared inside these curly brackets, right? So everywhere you can access it. So suppose you want to print something, I anyway am able to print. If I print something j, I should be able to see. J is this one, right? Instance variable. This is the global. So inside a method, anyway, I can do that. Now the another one is called static variable.
Yeah.
In the same way, I'm going to declare, but in front of it, I'll just add a static. That's all. Internal behavior is going to change now.
Okay.
Okay. Now let me tell you. So first Jdk we have printed. Let me show you the output. Sorry, we have not run. We have see the program we ran, but we have not invoked this method. So obviously we cannot see the output, right? That's what happened. Dot allow method. Then only you can see the result. Right?
Okay. V dot hello method. You created instance.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to copy paste. So when I copy paste the same thing into a main method, what happened? It has given error to I and j, but there was no error to k, right?
Okay.
Because I is a local variable, so obviously you cannot access it. That for sure we know.
Okay. Yeah. I is a local variable.
So obviously you cannot access.
J
is an instance variable, so it has to
global.
be accessed. It's a global variable, but within this you can access it directly. But you are in an inside method, right? Inside a main method. So if you want to access j, you cannot access j because it's an instance variable. Definitely it has to be accessed with an instance. That means v dot j. Then only it will be accessible.
I mean, global variable. That's why we need to access it through instance within a particular method. If you want to use it in a particular method.
Here within this, everywhere you can access it, but the main method is out of your thing, right? There, when you create an instance, so you have to use that instance name to access all the global variables.
Okay.
That's what. So earlier, I obviously cannot access it. So j directly I cannot access it, but with instance variable I cannot access it. But for the k, though it's at the top level, it's a static variable similar to the instance declaration, but still it was not given any error, right? Why? Because it's a static.
Okay.
So because it's a static, as I told you, though you are simply calling k, it internally how it calls is variable types dot k. This is how it internally represents. That's where it is able to get the value. Now you got some idea about.
Yeah,
static?
I got. Oh, if we declare it as a static, no need to call it with the instance.
If you can call with an instance, but ideally we usually call with a class. That's what this one.
Okay. Okay.
This is what we usually call. Though you are simply giving a k, call class name dot that variable name.
Actually, you said something something about this static. Can you repeat that again? You said something. I mean, if we represent it as static, you said something.
So memory location perspective, only one object is going to be store that value. That means generally, you know, right? Per instance, one copy, right?
No, yesterday while you're explaining this public static void main, then you explain the each and every keyword.
Yes.
And something about the static keyword.
Static is like a global, like one kind of a special access where it will be having only one memory location in memory. So for example, this is the variable types as a class, right? This is an instance is created. For each and every instance that you created, you'll be having separate copy of the instance variable. But for static, irrespective of the number of instances, still you'll be having a same value in all the instances.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay. And
this static is like internally memory wise, it's only having only one copy in the memory. That's all.
Okay. Okay.
So for the static variables and the static methods, all those things, you can call with the class name dot that variable name or that method name. That's what we did here. Class name dot that variable name.
And this instance declaration is you declared instance. I mean
Creating a instance for your class.
Object.
Yes, object created. Yes.
Okay, that is the way we need to create the object.
Object for your class.
Okay, variable type means it's a class
is our
name.
class name.
Class
A
name.
variable name for it. Class name, some name equal to new class name. So
class name object is equal to new class name.
Yeah, once you do this, means what you're trying to do is you're creating an object for your class.
Okay.
Once you create an object, you can talk to any of these things. That's what we did. Hello method. Hello method is a method, right? You cannot access it directly because you have to go with a variable name of your class. That is called object. Object dot that hello method.
Okay. Okay.
Clear or any confusion?
Okay. Later on.
Static. We have one more like a special class on the static. These are like just like yesterday and today. Just to discuss about the static actually. Yesterday as part of main method explanation, and today as part of variable types. But we have separate class on the static with the accessibility of the static.
So just now you told that if you give the public access modifier to the class name, it gets a bit difficult. I mean, we can't give method names. Just now you told that class A, class B, class C, and last you told that a public class test.
Let me open that example. This one, right?
Yeah, this one. Here, you told that you specified this public class test.
Yes.
So that's why our file name is test.
Yes,
you specified
exactly.
Public. If we specify public A, public B, it won't work, right?
It won't work. It will get compiled to method. Right?
But you gave public to the variable type, public variable type one class, and this main method is also a method. So here we gave public to the variable types. This is one method, and main method is one method.
So this is not a method. This is a class. Class.
This is a class.
We are having coding a lot of things. This is one class.
Okay, main is a method. That's it.
Yes, main is a method. Hello method is a method. If you go to test, test is one class similar to variable types. Inside that, main is a method.
Okay, method. Okay, now. Okay, okay, I got clear now.
Clear? Otherwise, I can re-explain it.
Yeah, I'm clear.
Clear. Okay, cool. So when you declare a variable as local, that means you are like the life of that variable only span within that block or a method. Beyond that, it cannot span.
Okay.
When you declare a variable as the same variable in the top level, it's called instance variable. And this variable can be accessible across your class. And if you want to access it within the, apart from the main method, if you want to access it everywhere, you can access directly. If it is a main method, then that's where you need to create a variable. Means you need to create an instance for your class.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to access these variables. J, if you remember J, how you are able to access v.j, then only it was allowed merit. That's where we call it as instance variable. This can be accessible only through instance.
Okay, but I want to know what's the importance. I want to know clearly about the object, the instance which you created.
This is the instance.
Why we create the instance in Java programming? It's an object-oriented.
Exactly. So it's an object-oriented program. If you want to have access to these things, definitely you need to create an instance for it. Otherwise, you cannot even access to any of these things except the static.
Okay, except static, we can't access anything. That's why we are using objects. Okay.
So for the static, you can access directly class name thing.
Okay. Got it. Now clear.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any doubts on this topic, whatever we have learned today?
Right now it's everything is fine.
Maybe you can revisit once again, and if you have any doubts, and once again we can revisit this variable topic types tomorrow.
Okay, that variables are, I'm fine with that variables.
Clear, right? Okay, cool.
And what is it? Data type and
Data type we haven't started.
okay.
Okay, we just
Yeah, just I know that, but just I'm reading that. What is that?
okay. Data type is like the name itself clearly telling that type of the data that you're dealing.
Yeah, integer and everything.
Exactly. So in Java, or not only Java, in any program language, based on the type of the data that you're dealing, they have identified the various types.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
each and every program, they have given a name. So some we call it as int, some call it as integer, some call it as something.
Okay.
Based on the program language, they have classified into various things, and so each and every data type is having specific rules and regulations. Means like what is the data type and how far it can accept and all those things that we'll be discussing in tomorrow's class.
Okay.
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 Okay, Arita, I think we are good for today, and
Yeah.
continue tomorrow with the next topics.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
First, can I get the the topics what we are going to discuss in the Java?
Okay.
I mean, what do you say, the curriculum? I mean, what are the
index?
yeah. I mean, roughly, what are the topics we are going to cover? Can I get the copy?
Like nothing ready as such, like everything dumped with me. So like usually like we know right what are the things. So like, being experienced, so we used to add all those things and as and when on the fly.
Oh, okay, okay.
Look, means nothing in written in my with me, but I know like what are the topics in individually. So
okay.
so
Okay,
those,
I asked you just like that.
okay.
To
So
get
if you are
clear.
expecting something ready right now, like I do not have anything ready with me.
No, not like that. Just I want to know what are the topics we are covering in Java. Just like that, I asked you. If you have, no problem. If you don't have, no problem.
Okay, nothing ready, but if you want, I can give it in tomorrow's class. Just like I can explain, I can speak out some words to just to give you that what are the topics wise.
Okay. I mean, core Java is a vast one, right?
Yes,
So just want to know what are the topics we are going to cover in this. In this training. That's all.
core Java, like we'll be covering a lot. Like so, the majority of the time we'll spending in the core Java, because once you are strong with the core Java, then it's easy for anyone to pick up the advanced things, right?
Okay.
And most of the time with the core Java. Tomorrow I'll
Okay.
just read out the topic so that you'll get some idea. And by chance, if you feel something you would like to add, and if it's not with me, then we can add it on. It's all
Okay.
depends on our.
To be frank, I don't know what we need to cover. Just want to know what we are going to cover, so I can't help you in adding any topics.
Sure. Like, but tomorrow I'll spell out all those things.
Okay, it's not necessary, but just I want to know.
Sure.
That's it.
Sure. So only thing, I do not have anything to share right away, but I can speak out on the fly.
Oh yeah, that's not a problem. Not at all a problem. Just I'm a little bit enthusiasm.
Sure.
What are the topics I'm going to learn? That's it.
Sure. Tomorrow we'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, Helsa. I think
Yeah.
we're good.
Bye.
We'll continue tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.